So today's question comes from John, who recently had something happen to him at a jiu-jitsu competition that will happen to every jiu-jitsu competitor at some point or another. If it hasn't happened yet, give it time, it will. So basically, he went to a competition. This is his 5th one, so he's done 4. So he's had a little bit of experience under his belt, right? And he said he did his normal warm-up. He went through, he's watched my videos. He knows how important it is to do a warm-up. So he's all sweaty and he's good. He's all greased up, ready to go. His muscles are loose. He's mentally focused. He shows up to his table, that he's supposed to go to. And then they say, hey, hold on a second. Actually, you know what? Something happened. Something got mixed up. You hang back for just a little bit. So his division got pushed back. And he got pushed back again. And then at some point, he's over here on like one mat, let's say mat 1. And then they're like, oh, hey, listen, you're actually supposed to be on that mat now over on mat 4. So he's getting yo-yoed around, and it was frustrating to him. And he said that while he did okay, won 2, lost 1, he said he did okay. He said after all that was going on, he said it felt like it threw him off. He said he just wasn't as mentally sharp as he normally was when he competes. So he sent me the message. He was wondering if such a thing has ever happened to the Chewster before. John must read my emails because that's what I say a lot in my emails, the Chewster. He's wondering if it's happened to me, and if so, how do I deal with it and not lose my head, so to speak? So, brother, thank you for the question. So this is something that will happen to every jiu-jitsu competitor, as I said before, and it's something that I've seen it throw off some competitors over the years. And I'm not saying not just like white belts or blue belts, but I've seen like some purple belts, start getting huffy about it because they're getting yanked around, and then you notice that it affects them in a negative way. And it's important to keep your head on straight. I was reading, and this is why it's on my mind, but I was reading a story about Miyamoto Musashi, the famous sword master from Japan. And in one of the stories that they shared, he purposely showed up late to one of the duels. So this guy that he's getting ready to fight is just sitting around waiting for him, and he purposely shows up late. And, from what I was reading, it was a sign of disrespect that he was doing this, and he shows up with basically a wooden sword he made out of a boat oar. So again, it's all just disrespect, and it got in the guy's head. And again, he's doing this because he understands that no matter how well the person is physically prepared, if their mindset is off, if their mental state is off, they're not going to be at their best. So he was doing it to take advantage of the situation. Now, you're not going to be fighting people with swords and dueling them, right? But you have to deal with that same idea of things being late, things getting yanked around, and just in general, stuff happening. You have to be ready for that. I remember at one of the Fight to Win matches that they had that I was a part of. I remember I was competing, and before I was competing, I'm getting ready to step up on stage. And if you guys have never seen a Fight to Win, essentially it's like a show, right? They have one match at a time. So I'm getting ready to step up on stage and walk out to the music and everything else, and then they come over and tell us the live feed that they have going to Flow Grappling dropped. So we all have to just sit and wait, right? So I'm sitting there, I'm all warmed up, I'm ready to go, I'm mentally ready, and then they say, hold on a second. And it takes about 15 or 20 minutes to get that thing going. I remember one of my early white belt tournaments. The Arnold Classic used to be this big tournament on this side of the Mississippi. It used to be a big tournament, and we would go up to it every year. And it was ran terribly almost every year that I went to it up until a certain point. So we show up, and this particular year I get there and I compete. I think my division was supposed to be somewhere around 3 or 4. I end up competing at 7 o'clock, somewhere around that range. I can't remember. It was just really late, like 4 hours difference. And then the open division, the white belt division, it ran at something crazy like 11 or 12. And then here's the kicker. The next day we were told to be there at 10 o'clock to get ready for the no-gi day. So we get there, the lobby is just packed with grapplers. But this little area that they have for us in this expo center was locked off for just the grapplers. So we're all just sitting there waiting. And then the promoters, the people that are actually running the event for us, they show up at 12, like noon. So we were all thrown off. So these things are just going to happen, bro. And you have to expect them. And that's the first thing that I would sort of encourage you to do. Whenever you compete, always expect some weird stuff to happen. Don't ever expect for it to just go off perfectly. Always expect for there to be some sort of weird hang up somewhere, because it's going to happen more often than not. And if you are not expecting it, it'll surprise you. But if you are expecting some crazy stuff to happen, some stuff to just get thrown off, it's good. You'll be ready for it, because whether it's the time your division gets pushed back, right, and you have to wait, there's some technical error with the computers and you have to wait, or maybe you just never know, bro. Something happens. I've seen fights break out at competitions and then everything has to get tucked away. Whatever it is, you're like, oh yeah, hey, something out of my control is happening. Whatever, I expected that. And it's one of those sort of philosophies that you see in Stoic philosophy, and to me it goes really well with martial arts, which is, again, you can't control it, right? So don't put too much attention to it. Don't deal with it. Focus on what you can control of. Now, with that said, let's say your match next time gets pushed back a little bit. What can you do? I'm telling you what to think about. What can you do? So what I do, if you watch my videos and I talk about warming up, and if you see some of my matches, you'll probably see this as well, I always wear layers. So if I've got a gi on, I've got a hoodie over top of it. If it's no gi, I've got a t-shirt, I've got a hoodie, I've got sweatpants. I try to keep myself basically blanketed up. So this way, once I get my warm-up in and my body is nice and loose, I've got my little lung blow done, so I've really got my heart rate pumping for a little bit. I've got a nice glaze of sweat on me. I put layers on. And so this way, if I get up there and they say, hey, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, no problem. I'll stay warm. I'll go over here to the side. I'll continue to stretch. I'll continue to move a little bit, very lightly, just to kind of keep myself where I need to be. And then I'll get ready for it and compete whenever it's time to go. Opposed to if I got myself really warm, didn't have layers on, they tell me I've got to wait. Now I'm going to cool down, right? And so that's a simple idea to do, but again, the most important thing is to expect this stuff to happen, bro, because it's going to. So anyway, that's just an idea to chew on. Hopefully that helps you, John, in your next competition if it happens. And guys, I'll talk to you next time.